So in my last video I did ranking of every Juice WRLD song, but today we're doing something similar but different. We're ranking all of the Juice WRLD albums. Now in the last video you might have seen Death Race for Love win, but that's not the case in this video. Or is it? Let's find out. Now all of the albums that are on here are the WRLD on Drugs, the collab album he has, and then obviously all the other 4 that he has, Goodbye and Good Riddance, Death Race for Love, Legends Never Die, and Fighting Demons. But I also put the 999 EP on here because I also did the 999 EP on the ranking of every Juice WRLD song. So I figured, why not stay consistent? But without further ado, let's get into the ranking. This EP shows us a very young stage of Juice at his career. It showcases all of his music, his hype song, his sad songs, and his love songs. At the time when this came out, we had heard what emo rap before, like from Lil Uzi Vert. I'm trying to think of some other people, but basically we've heard Lil Uzi at the time, and we thought, okay, this is like the emo rap. But Juice showed us what his take on that subgenre was. Although there aren't a lot of tracks on this EP, the highs on this album are great. In fact, they're iconic because it has Lucid Dreams on here. But the lows on this album are not great to me and are some of his worst songs, like 2 Cups. For those reasons, I'm putting the EP in last place. Now this album, to me, was supposed to be a mix between melodic and trap music. When I heard this album, I was really 50-50 on it, and I didn't really know if I loved the album or if I hated it, or if I honestly had no idea. But with some songs like Realer and Realer, Astronauts, and No Issue, they were some of my favorite songs off this album. But in fact, I think even Realer and Realer made it up into my top 10 of all of Juice WRLD's songs. But some of the tracks on there, like Ain't Livin' Right, Oxy, and Red Bentley, were some of the worst tracks off this album, and I personally could not bump the album higher than this. Now I think that there are some great songs off this album, but I think there are also some terrible ones. I still think the album is better produced and has better beats and better songs than the 999 EP, but that isn't really saying much because although the 999 EP was very short, this album is a lengthy album and has more songs to choose from. And you can have some songs that are bad and good at the time, so you know what I mean? You can't really put them both on the even playing field. So personally, I wouldn't be upset if you put the 999 EP above this one or if you put it below. I don't really care where you have it, but these 2 are definitely the bottom 2 in my opinion. This is his most recent album, and I don't know if he's gonna drop one soon, or I don't know when, or if there even is gonna be an album coming out. But this one, to me, just felt like it didn't have as much care as Legends Never Die did. And to me, some of the mixing was weird. Like on some songs, Juice's vocals were quiet, and on some songs, it just sounded normal. But some songs were done with a lot of care, like Burn, and just made the song great and was okay, this song was done with a lot of care. I feel like you could have left some of the songs off the album and it still would have been as good or just even better maybe. But that's not my decision to choose from. I know they're trying to do what they can to fulfill the fans and all that stuff, but to me, this coming right after Legends Never Die was a bit of a step down for me. I know what you might be thinking, in 3rd place, why so low, or why isn't that number 2 or 1? To me, Goodbye and Good Riddance is a good album, don't get me wrong, it's a great album. I think these top 3 are very good albums. I think these are the best of his best, and I don't think you can really say that putting this in 3rd may look bad on the scale of the list, but it's not bad in general of talking albums. I still think Goodbye and Good Riddance is a good album, but I do think that basically the albums above it are just better. The songs I like are these ones are not outdated, but I feel like I just like the Death Race for Love and Legend Never Die songs better than the ones on this album. One plus I will give to this album though is I think that it has a coherent theme, and I think that it does that very well, and that this is, again, definitely not a bad album, but I just don't think it's his best. For me, when this came out, people were putting this at such a high pedestal, and at the time I didn't really know why, and I didn't understand why, because to me, it was a good album. Don't get me wrong, I liked it at the time, but I think I was more into Goodbye and Good Riddance than I was Death Race for Love at the time. But after further consideration, I found that Death Race for Love is way better than I thought, and that the hits off of it are great, if not one of his best songs, like Robbery, are great. And I do believe that this album was done with in a couple of weeks, is what I think I heard from like the interviews and stuff like that, which is pretty shocking if you think about it. But this album to me it just feels like his most experimental. It feels like I wouldn't put this as like his album for like a go-to fan to get into. Me personally, I would put Goodbye and Good Riddance as like his first album you should go listen to, because I just think that that's him, and that was him obviously before he passed. So I think that if he wanted that workout, that's how he wanted it to be portrayed. And then I would go into Death Race for Love to see like all of his different experimental phases. But some of the songs on here were great. You had even songs on here that he was not just singing, but he was also rapping, and it gave us that other side of him that we saw like on his freestyles. And the songs just came out great, and I honestly just loved it, and I wish I could hear more. To me, this album was done with such care, and it just felt like every song on this album had a purpose. Even the interludes were great, and every song on here felt like it was for everyone. Like, you had love songs, you had sad songs, you had heartbreak songs, obviously, and then you had like hype songs. The album coming out after his death obviously puts a lot of pressure on the label to make like a good album, and for the fans to be happy with it and stuff like that. To me, this album hit all of my marks and even exceeded them. And to me, I feel like this album doesn't really get enough credit as it should. I think it's one of his best, and if not, I think it is his best. And I think this is his best posthumous album, but I think that Death Race for Love, to me personally, is his best album that he made before he passed. I would love to see the Outsiders album that he would have made, but it is what it is, and things happen. But Legends Never Die, it exceeded my expectations, and I feel like you don't really get an album that's like Legends Never Die. And yeah, I feel like this just did justice for like his legacy and stuff like that. I feel like the label did a good job at this. I still think Fighting Demons is a decent album, but I feel like Legends Never Die is so good to where you really can't top it. I think it is his best. It is so good. I think every single song on here is a banger. To me, I don't think there was a single skip. I think it got a little bit shaky at the end of the album, but I think like the album, like all the way like to maybe like the last like 2 or 3 songs, it was still banger after banger after banger. And I feel like everybody on this song, on like every feature on the album, did their part and did a great job, and I just feel like it was great. Now, I know on the score sheet for like the every Juice WRLD song that I had, it said that Death Race for Love won, but obviously as an album, I think Legends Never Die is better, because I don't know, I just liked every song off of that. I think Death Race for Love had a lot of high songs on there, but to me, Death Race for Love, some of the songs on there I just didn't really feel like were great, and on Legends Never Die, I feel like they had a lot of great songs, if not decent enough to be up there in his catalog. But yeah, there's the video. It's a short one. The video, not very long. I mean, there's only 6 albums to grade and stuff like that. To recap, if you guys forgot, in 6th place we have the 999 EP. 5th place we have WRLD on Drugs. 4th place we have Fighting Demons. 3rd place we have Goodbye and Good Riddance. 2nd place we have Death Race for Love. And in 1st place we have Legends Never Die. Now, I want to hear your comments down below. I want to know what you guys think, or I want to know your ranking if you're a big Juice WRLD fan. If not, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys would have changed. Let me know like the different, like, not like small jumps, like, oh, like, you can tell me what your number 1 is, but don't tell me like a small jump like Goodbye and Good Riddance should be 2nd. I want to know, like, should like Goodbye and Good Riddance be like number 1, or should 999 EP be like number 1 or something. I want to know something crazy like that. I want to know your hot takes. So, your boy, I'm out of here. Peace.